Have you ever wondered why some 40-year-old men still act like 12-year-old kids? Why is there such a huge gap between chronological age and emotional maturity? And more importantly, which category do you fit into? If you could look into the mirror of your soul right now, what would you see reflected there? A man or still a disguised boy? Write "I will change my mindset now" in the comments if you are ready to discover the truth about yourself. Look around you. Observe the men in your life, at your work, in your family. How many of them have truly grown up? How many carry the weight of responsibility on their shoulders as naturally as a tree carries its branches? The answer is frighteningly low, and this is no coincidence. We live in an era where infantilization has become epidemic, where men in their 30s, 40s, 50s still expect someone else to solve their problems, still avoid difficult decisions, still behave as if the world owes them something. But let me tell you something that can completely change your perspective on what it means to be a real man. The difference between a boy and a man is not in age, not in the body, not even in external achievements. It lies in something much deeper and transformative. The ability to look at the chaos of existence and take full responsibility for your own experience in this world. See, when you were a child, your parents were your gods. They controlled your world, set your rules, resolved your conflicts. You lived in a universe where responsibility was always someone else's. Did you cry? Someone came to comfort you. Were you hungry? Someone brought food. Did you fight with a friend? Someone mediated the situation. This is the boy's world, a place where he is the center of the universe and everything revolves around him. The problem is that many men never left this mental state. They grew physically, but psychologically they still expect the world to work as it did when they were 5 years old. They expect the boss to be like a benevolent father, the wife to be like a caring mother, problems to magically resolve if they complain enough or pretend they don't exist. But here is the truth. No one wants to tell you. The world doesn't care about your childish expectation. Reality is relentless, indifferent to your fantasies about how things should be. And the more you resist this truth, the more suffering you will create for yourself and everyone around you. The mature man understands a fundamental truth that revolutionizes his entire life experience. He is not a victim of circumstances. He is the architect of his own reality. When something goes wrong in his life, the first question he asks is not who is to blame, but what can I do to fix this? When facing difficulty, he doesn't waste time lamenting the world's injustice, but immediately asks himself, what lesson can I learn from this? How can I grow through this adversity? This shift in perspective is like a spiritual awakening. It's as if you had been living your whole life in a dark cave, blaming the shadows on the wall for all your problems, until one day you turn around and see there is a way out. A light that has always been there, waiting for you to have enough courage to walk toward it. Consciousness is the dividing line between the boy and the man. The boy lives on autopilot, reacting emotionally to every stimulus like a wounded animal. The man develops the ability to observe his own thoughts and emotions as if he were a scientist studying an interesting phenomenon. He is not his emotions, he has emotions. He is not his thoughts, he observes his thoughts. Imagine for a moment that you can rise above yourself and watch your own life as if it were a movie. You would see the patterns, the repetitions, the automatic mechanisms that govern your behavior. You would see how many of your reactions are simply programs installed in your childhood, running unquestioned for decades. The mature man develops this capacity for meta-observation. He can pause between stimulus and response, and in that sacred space of consciousness, he chooses how to react. This is the difference between living like a programmed robot and living as a conscious human being. But this consciousness comes at a price. When you awaken to full responsibility for your life, you can no longer blame your parents, your upbringing, your genetics, your boss, your wife, or anyone else for your problems. You become solely responsible for your happiness, your success, your inner peace. This is terrifying and liberating at the same time. Time is another crucial aspect of this transformation. The boy lives only in the immediate present of his desires and impulses. He wants instant gratification, cannot delay pleasures, does not plan for the future. The mature man understands that time is a river flowing only in one direction, and that every moment is a unique opportunity to build something meaningful. He plants trees knowing he may never rest in their shade. He invests in relationships knowing the fruits may take years to mature. He disciplines himself today knowing his future self will be grateful for this discipline. He understands that life is not a sprint but a marathon, and victory belongs to those who have the patience and wisdom to build consistently, day after day, brick by brick. The reality is that the world doesn't need more boys disguised as men. The world needs men who take responsibility, who make difficult choices, who tell the truth even when it's inconvenient, who protect those they love, who build something greater than themselves. Have you noticed how a truly mature man enters a room? It's not arrogance, it's a serene presence, a quiet confidence that says, I know who I am, I know why I'm here, and I take full responsibility for my presence in this world. People feel safe around this man because they know he won't blame them for his problems, won't throw his responsibilities on their shoulders. The test every man needs to pass is not an academic exam, not a test of physical strength, not a competition of resource. The test is internal, silent, constant. It is the test of personal responsibility. It is the ability to look at your life, your mistakes, your failures, your circumstances, and say, this is mine, I created this or allowed it to happen, and now I'm gonna do something about it. When you pass this test, something magical happens. You stop being a leaf blown by the wind of circumstances, and become the tree itself, rooted, strong, able to withstand storm. You stop being a thermometer that only reacts to the emotional temperature of the environment, and become a thermostat that sets the temperature. There is a fundamental difference between reacting and responding. The boy reacts, exploding in anger, hiding in fear, freezing in anxiety. The man responds, he feels the same emotions but consciously chooses how to act. He doesn't suppress his emotions, he integrates them into his conscious response. Think of the men you admire most in history, in your personal life, in literature, anywhere. What do they have in common? It's not that they never faced difficulties or never felt fear. It's that they chose to act despite fear, chose to take responsibility despite difficulty, chose to grow through adversity instead of hiding from it. Suffering is inevitable in human life, but suffering can be transformative or just destructive. The difference lies in how you relate to it. The boy sees suffering as an injustice, as something that shouldn't be happening to him. The mature man sees suffering as a strict teacher, as an opportunity to develop psychological muscles he didn't know he had. Every adversity is a question life is asking you. Who are you really when everything goes wrong? What is your true character when no one is watching? Will you break or will you become stronger? The answer to these questions defines whether you are a boy or a man. The ability to delay gratification is one of the clearest markers of emotional maturity. The boy wants everything now, can't wait, can't invest in the future. The mature man understands that the best things in life require time, patience, consistent dedication. He plants today to harvest tomorrow. This applies to everything in life. Deep relationships take time to develop. True skills take years to perfect. Real wealth is built through decades of wise decisions. Wisdom is acquired through years of experience and reflection. The mature man accepts these truths and acts accordingly. But perhaps the most important characteristic of the mature man is his relationship with truth. The boy lives in a world of fantasies, of how things should be, of stories he tells himself to avoid confronting reality. The mature man has an intimate and courageous relationship with truth, even when it's inconvenient, even when it forces him to change. The truth is that you are responsible for your life. The truth is that no one is coming to save you. The truth is that the world doesn't care about your excuses. The truth is that you can choose to grow through any experience or remain stagnant. The truth is that time is passing, and every day you spend avoiding responsibility is a day you will never get back. The mature man not only accepts these truths, he embraces them. He finds freedom in responsibility, peace in acceptance, power in conscious choice. He understands that life is not something that happens to him, but something he is constantly creating through his choices, attitudes, responses. There is a profound difference between being a strong man and being a mature man. Strength without maturity is just disguised violence. Maturity without strength is just intellectualized passivity. The truly evolved man combines strength with wisdom, power with compassion, determination with patience. The journey from boy to man is not a transition that happens automatically with age. It is a conscious transformation you must choose to make. It is a continuous process of taking more responsibility, developing more awareness, embracing more truth. Every choice you make is a vote for the kind of man you are becoming. Every time you take responsibility instead of blaming others, you vote for the mature man. Every time you delay gratification to invest in the future, you vote for the mature man. Every time you tell the truth, even when it's hard, you vote for the mature man. The world desperately needs mature men. Not perfect men, but men who take responsibility for their imperfection and constantly work to improve. Not men without fear, but men who choose to act despite fear. Not men who never fail, but men who learn from their failures and keep trying. Your family needs you to be a mature man. Your children need a model of responsibility and courage. Your wife needs a partner who takes his share of the load, no longer a child to care for. Your parents need to see that they did their job well, that they raised a man capable of taking care of himself and others. Society needs men who build instead of destroy, who solve problems instead of creating them, who take leadership instead of waiting for someone else to lead. The world needs men who are a solid rock in times of storm, who are a beacon of hope in times of darkness. The transition from boy to man is not marked by a specific event, but by a gradual change in how you relate to life. It is when you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this happening to me for? It is when you stop looking for someone to blame and start looking for solutions. It is when you understand that life is not about being happy all the time, but about being useful, about contributing, about leaving the world a little better than you found it. It is when you realize that true satisfaction comes not from receiving but from giving, not from being served but from serving. The mature man develops the ability to see beyond his immediate needs. He thinks about the consequences of his actions not only for himself but for his family, his community, future generations. He understands that he is a link in a much larger chain and that his responsibility extends beyond his own life. This does not mean he sacrifices unnecessarily or ignores his own needs. It means he finds a wise balance between caring for himself and caring for others, between his personal needs and his collective responsibilities. The process of maturing is painful because it requires you to kill the boy inside you, not literally but symbolically. You must let die the part of you that expects life to be easy, that expects others to solve your problems, that expects the world to adapt to your needs. This symbolic death is followed by a rebirth. You are born as a mature man, capable of facing reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. You become capable of building your own happiness instead of waiting for it to come from outside. Personal responsibility is like a muscle that needs to be exercised regularly. At first it is difficult, uncomfortable, even painful. But the more you practice it, the stronger you become. The more responsibility you take, the more power you discover you have to shape your reality. There is a fundamental difference between power and control. The boy wants to control everything and everyone around him to feel safe. The mature man understands that the only real control he has is over his own choices, his own responses, his own attitude. Paradoxically, when he stops trying to control the external world and focuses on controlling his internal world, he discovers he has much more influence over his reality than he ever imagined. Adversity is not the opposite of success, it is the path to success. Every obstacle you face is an opportunity to develop strength, wisdom, resilience. The mature man does not avoid difficulties, he embraces them as opportunities for growth. Think of the wisest people you know. They did not reach wisdom through an easy life but through a life full of challenges they chose to face rather than avoid. They are not wise despite their difficulties, but because of them. Time is the most precious resource you have, more precious than money, more precious than any material possession. The mature man understands this and uses his time intentionally. He does not waste time on activities that do not add value to his life or the lives of others. This does not mean he never rests or never has fun. It means he consciously chooses when to rest and when to work, when to have fun and when to dedicate himself to more serious things. He does not live on autopilot but makes conscious choices about how to invest his time. Emotional maturity also shows in how you handle conflicts. The boy avoids conflicts or explodes in anger. The mature man understands that conflicts are opportunities for clarification, growth, and deepening relationships. He doesn't seek out conflicts, but he doesn't avoid them when necessary either. He has learned the art of disagreeing without being unpleasant, of defending his position without attacking the person, of seeking solutions instead of blame. He understands that true strength is not always winning an argument, but knowing when it is wise to yield, when it is important to insist, and when it is better simply to agree to disagree. The mature man also develops the ability to be vulnerable without being weak. He understands that admitting mistakes is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. He is not afraid to ask for help when he needs it, to admit when he doesn't know something, to show emotions when appropriate. There is a crucial difference between vulnerability and weakness. Weakness is being controlled by your emotions, being unable to take responsibility, being dependent on external validation. Vulnerability is having the courage to be authentic, to show your fears and insecurities, to be human in a world that often demands you be a machine. The mature man understands that perfection is an illusion and that the journey of growth never ends. He doesn't get paralyzed trying to be perfect, but commits to the ongoing process of improvement. He celebrates progress, not perfection. Every day is a new opportunity to choose to be a mature man. Every difficult situation is a chance to practice personal responsibility. Every relationship is an opportunity to demonstrate emotional maturity. Every choice is a vote for the kind of man you are becoming. The world doesn't need more boys pretending to be men. The world needs real men, men who take responsibility, who make tough choices, who build instead of destroy, who lead by example, who are solid rock in times of storm. The question you must ask yourself now is, are you ready to pass the test? Are you ready to let the boy die and allow the man to be born? Are you ready to take full responsibility for your life and stop blaming others for your problems? The journey won't be easy. There will be moments of doubt, moments of fear, moments when you'll want to return to the comfort of irresponsibility. But remember, the only thing harder than growing up is not growing up. The only thing more painful than taking responsibility is living your whole life avoiding it. You have a choice to make. You can continue being a boy disguised as a man, reacting to circumstances, blaming others for your problems, waiting for someone to come save you. Or you can choose to become a real man, taking full responsibility for your life, facing adversity with courage, building something meaningful with your time on earth. The choice is yours. It always has been yours. It always will be yours. And it's a choice you must make every day, in every situation, in every moment. It's not a decision you make once and forget. It's a daily commitment to maturity, responsibility, and growth. The world is watching. Your family is watching. More importantly, you are watching. You know, deep in your heart, what kind of man you have the potential to become. You know there is a version of you that is brave, responsible, wise, strong. The question is, will you have enough courage to become that version? Remember, you are not your circumstances. You are not your past. You are not your fears. You are your choices. And at every moment, you have the opportunity to choose to be the man you are destined to be. Time is passing. Life is happening. The world is waiting. Your family is waiting. You are waiting. Don't wait any longer. Don't look for more excuses. Don't blame anyone else anymore. Take responsibility. Make the choice. Become the man you were born to be. Because in the end, the only question that really matters is, when you are on your deathbed, looking back at the life you lived, will you see yourself as a man who took responsibility and built something meaningful, or as a boy who spent his whole life waiting for someone to come solve his problems? The answer to that question will not be determined by your circumstances, but by your choices. And the first choice you need to make is now. Will you continue being a boy, or will you begin the journey to become a real man? You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond to what happens to you. You can't control the past, but you can control what you do with the lessons you've learned. You can't control the future, but you can control the actions you take today to build the future you want. The mature man understands that life is not about avoiding difficulties, but about becoming the kind of person who can face any difficulty. It's not about having an easy life, but about having a meaningful life. It's not about being happy all the time, but about being useful, about contributing, about leaving the world better than you found it. That is the difference between a boy and a man. That is the transformation you must make. That is the test you must pass. And that test is not something you do once and finish. It's something you do every day, in every choice, in every moment. Life is too short to be wasted in immaturity. Life is too precious to be lived irresponsibly. Life is too meaningful to be spent blaming others for your problem. You have all the potential in the world inside you. You have the ability to become an extraordinary man. You have the possibility to build a life that matters, to make a difference, to leave a legacy. But none of this will happen automatically. None of this will come for free. You will have to choose. You will have to fight. You will have to grow. You will have to take responsibility. And when you make that choice, when you take that responsibility, when you commit to that growth, something magical will happen. You will discover that you are stronger than you imagined, more capable than you dreamed, more powerful than you believed. You will discover that life is not something that happens to you, but something you are constantly creating. You will discover that you are not a victim of circumstances, but the architect of your own reality. Personal responsibility is the key that opens all other doors. It is the foundation on which everything else is built. It is the difference between living as a boy and living as a man. Clean your room, straighten your posture, look people in the eye, speak the truth, take responsibility for your mistakes, work to improve, build something meaningful, leave the world better than you found it. Because in the end, the only thing that really matters is whether you had enough courage to become the man you were born to be. And that courage is not something you have or don't have. It is something you choose to show, moment after moment, choice after choice, day after day. The journey starts now. The test starts now. Your life as a mature man starts now. Not tomorrow, not Monday, not when you feel ready. Now. Stop being a boy. Start being a man. The world is waiting for you. Your family is waiting for you. You are waiting for you. Don't disappoint them. Don't disappoint yourself. Take responsibility. Make the choice. Become the man you were born to be. If you are ready to stop being a boy and start the journey to become a real man, if you are ready to take full responsibility for your life and stop blaming others for your problems, if you are ready to face reality as it is and build something meaningful with your time on earth, then write, "I will change my mindset now," in the comment. Prove to yourself that you are ready to pass the test every man needs to pass. Prove that you are ready to let the boy die and allow the man to be born. Your transformation begins with this declaration of intention.